my heart was so full that I just wanted to start having kids.
If I ever want someone to play with, someone to hang out with, I have like 8 options.
Just know that we both really wanted a lot of kids.
There's a lot of great things you can do with a big family.
It's definitely a battleground to practice virtues, patience, joy, but also, I mean, it's a lot of fun.
I like to water the garden with my sister Maya.
Watching each of them experience that joy is so delightful.
John is our oldest. He's 23 now.
He's full of joy. He's always smiling and laughing, and the kids, he loves being around the kids, and they love being around him.
He's a very entertaining older brother, let's put it that way.
He's lots of fun.
He's a lot of fun.
Maya's a go-getter. Whatever she wants, she goes after it, and she's a leader and a speaker. She's helped me take care of the children all these years.
You know, helping teens get involved in the pro-life movement is a big part of what we're doing. So right now we're developing an app, and we're developing a couple things to really help teenagers have the resources to tell stories and ask the right questions in order to get the conversation about the pro-life movement happening in their schools.
Daniel is our athlete of the family. He plays football. He was on varsity this last year as a freshman. He's just an amazing athlete, but he's also a very calm kid. And all the other kids love him and want to play with him, but he's just a very even-keel person. And he's extremely intellectual. He's been writing a book for 3 years now. Olivia is, she's got me wrapped around her finger. I mean, she wanted horses and prayed about it, and here we are with horses.
She's always busy reading, baking, taking care of the horses, and she always complies anytime you need her. She is very good with the baby.
James is probably the kid I depend the most on. He is very mechanically inclined, and he is, if I need something done, I call James. He's only 12. But if I need something fixed or something that requires manual labor in some way, if I'm not home, I call him because I know it'll get fixed. He's not going to call me 50,000 times to ask me how it's done. And he just takes care of it. And Joseph is my competitor. He's an extremely good athlete. When he was 3, he got put on his brother's soccer team because he kept scoring 15 goals a game. So they moved him up to the 6-year-olds, and he still did really well. He is our most emotional child, I think, as far as he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and if he loses, you're gonna hear about it. who's probably our most loving child. He is just always giving you hugs and kisses, and he's just a wonderful person to be around, and it's hard to describe
Like
him.
Robin Hood and Little John. Joseph's Robin Hood, he's Little John.
They're so close in age, everybody thinks they're twins because he's big, and he's just, I don't know, I just love his laugh and just...
Anna's the 8th child, and she was very much doted on being a preemie and having saved her dad's life as well. She's being raised around a lot of boys, so she is a tomboy, but she's also has her little tea set in hand and ready to have tea with her friends. Very girly girl at the same time, but she wants to go out there and play basketball and football and soccer, and so she's versatile. She can play with the boys, she can play with the girls.
Samuel is my little giant. You know, he's 17 months old now, and he's walking around and gets into everything, and, you know, people look at him and think he should be talking, but I gotta remind people he's only 17 months old, and he's just a big baby. And he's just a joy to have. I mean, I don't think we thought we were gonna have any more, and it just kind of happened, and it was, it's definitely a blessing to have number 9. I think having a big family, I don't think we ever really kind of discussed having a big family. I just know that we both really wanted a lot of kids. And I mean, I come from a family of 4, which isn't a huge family, but I knew I wanted more than one and really hadn't put a number on it. I just kind of knew that I wanted a big family. If you would ask me back then, were we going to have 9 kids, I probably would have said no. But I think after each child that we had, it just kind of, you know, once they got to a certain age, we like, kind of want another one, and we were just kind of open to it. My parents were missionaries in Argentina, so I moved to Argentina when I was 2 and came back when I was 15. My dad is currently still a preacher in the Church of Christ. So that's kind of where my faith journey started, was through my parents and knocking on doors, evangelizing, and as a kid. As far as my faith, you know, I think we all kind of go through a transitional faith when we get older and start to try to understand and believe in God because we believe in God and not because our parents told us to. So when my 3rd child was born, Daniel, we had just moved down to Houston. We used to live in Wichita, Kansas, and through a job opportunity, we moved to Houston, and we met some people at the school who were pretty instrumental in evangelizing us, and you know, because everything I knew about the Catholic Church was really not true. And so when I started looking at things historically and really studying and trying to figure out what I believed in, just happened to be surrounded by a lot of people that had the answers I needed. And so when my 3rd child, which is Daniel, I was going through a RCIA, and so they kind of made an exception, and I came in Easter Sunday at the same time that he was baptized. And so that's when I came into the Catholic Church.
My husband supports me emotionally when I'm when I'm overwhelmed and it gets crazy. I call him, and sometimes I'll cry, and he's there. He comes, and he definitely help so much with cooking. But I think the best way he helps is he's just gifted with babies. He knows how to put a baby to sleep better than I do. I can nurse them, but without that, I'm not good at putting babies to sleep, but he can take the baby, he can soothe the baby, and that helps so much. I mean, it hasn't been a hard decision to have children with him because he is so gifted with babies and children and with cooking. So
my wife is probably my biggest supporter. I mean, I don't know where I'd be without her, first of all. I know that sounds so cliche, but the fact of the matter is she's given up a lot. I mean, she's an extremely smart woman, was already into medical school, and she decided to give all that up. And, she just, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, she does so much. She thinks I don't see it, but I know she does. I mean, she takes care of the kids. She homeschools them. She makes sure I'm doing the stuff I'm supposed to be doing too. I mean, she's definitely the reason this household works. I don't know what I'd do without her. And, she's always been supportive. I mean, even during my conversion, my conversion was very hard, especially on my parents. And, and I kind of kept her at arm's length during it because I never wanted anybody to say that I converted because of my wife. If it was the truth, then I'd convert. If not, I wouldn't. But even throughout that whole time, I mean, she never asked me any questions. She never tried to say, you have to convert, but then I'll find out later after, multiple years into it already converting and being Catholic that my wife said a rosary for me every day.
it was at that time that I decided I was going to be really serious about being open to life and not using contraception. I knew that it was wrong because I'd learned in 8th grade from my teacher. And so I decided I was going to learn about NFP and start doing things right. And we did. And we stopped using any forms of contraception at that point. And then we moved to Houston. And in Houston is where we became involved with the Legionaries of Christ. And thanks to them, we were so much more formed in our faith. And it was also at that time that I had decided to pray the rosary every day. I was part of Familia for 4 years where we studied the encyclicals of Pope John Paul II. And we were part of another group called Splendor of Love that just studied the theology of the body. And all of that, just my heart was so full. I just wanted to start having kids, and I just wanted to do, just live out the theology of the body. I wanted to live out the vision of the family of Pope John Paul II. And that just became my passion. And my children, oh yeah, every single one of them in some way is supporting me. When I'm pregnant, there's times throughout the whole pregnancy when I'm sick and I can't do things and I'm extremely exhausted or I'm having health problems. And I do depend on them to help with their siblings and help with the food and with maybe even with schoolwork. They've all put in their fair share of helping.
I don't think we really ever decided on a big family. I mean, I think during dating, we knew we wanted kids, but we never really talked about a number. I think she didn't want to scare me away because, I think she wanted 6 and I wanted at least 4, but I wanted a big family. And I think we really just started, after we had our first one, and then we had our second one, and then we had our third one, and then our fourth one came pretty quickly after the third one, and we're just open to it. I think I'd have 20 kids if I could. I mean, I just love our kids, and there's a certain excitement with each one, and I don't think we really ever really planned it, but we just, we've just been open to it, and we just love our kids.
I guess when I'm having my own personal struggles, the hard thing with the struggles I've had with having big families, when I'm needing to take care of myself because I'm trying to pull myself back up, and I can't be there in those moments as well as I want to be. And I think sometimes a struggle, especially as an only child, is within myself and my own perfectionism. Because sometimes my perfectionism can just beat me down, because I grew up with everything being perfectly clean. Everything was pristine, and there's a certain standard that you live by, and it's just really hard to try to live by that. So overcoming all those negative thoughts has been really about learning how much I'm loved, really understanding and coming close to Christ, and really understanding how much He loves me, and taking that time to refresh and be spiritually replenished is so important in order for me to stand in who I truly am and remember who I truly am, and understand that all these things that I'm telling myself are not from God. And things don't need to be perfect, because there's so many other things I'm focused on than having everything perfect.
People worry a lot about, well, if I have a lot of kids, am I going to have, how am I going to support them? And I don't think we ever really considered that part of it. I think we just kind of always knew that God would provide.
Yeah, we were really blessed to just fall naturally into the desire for children. We both had that. But it was during our conversion, both of us, where we really became more serious about what that meant and being open to life. The only word that I can really come up with is joy, because it's really hard to have words. As hard as it is in daily life, just doing our normal things, every single day there is something that we're smiling about, laughing about, and just the security of my children having each other and how much joy they get from each other, and watching each of them experience that joy is so delightful, because I get to see the joy I have. I get to see them have it with me.
The joy of having a big family, there's obviously lots of hard times too, but there's always something going on. It's never the same, and there's just always noise in the house, and I don't like quiet. So watching the kids play with each other, playing sports together, we like sports a lot. So there's always someone to play with. There's always a team. There's always something going on. And although a lot of the kids are good at entertaining themselves, there's always somebody or something to entertain somebody. I think that's one of the joys, and just watching the interaction with the kids, and especially the oldest to the youngest, and just those different dynamics, and you see who's closer with each child, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a lot of fun.
Now, I love silence, but even so, noise and hustle and bustle it's just so beautiful. Basically, everything is based on our faith. We started homeschooling because of our faith. We moved here because of our faith, and the community, because that community means so much to us. I know that I need the community as much. I need the community in order to raise my kids. And so the kids will take part in a lot of activities there. And that's so important to me because I don't think I can do it by myself. I need the village. And but we pray every day and do catechism every day. We try to get to daily mass. We go to daily mass at least once a week. And of course we go on Sundays. And we spend a lot of time at the church. I mean, that's probably my kids' favorite place to be is at the church because they have so many friends. And I love that there's so many faithful people that I know I can depend on to be good examples. I grew up Catholic and I grew up in Catholic school. And in 8th grade, I was taught that contraception was wrong. And I was taught at a young age that abortion is wrong. So I've always believed those things. But in my adulthood, I did have a strong conversion where learning about Pope John Paul's vision of the family, I just was so inspired, just very inspired by that, and realized I want that. I want what he's envisioning. That's what I want.
We are the Abraham family.
And we are joyfully big!
You can't always. This is the death. Remarkably empty.
Turn back towards God. Rise up.